GBE TV. Yes, sir!
Welcome to the Sharmin Prince Show on GBE TV, where we know that progress is a must. Of course, today is January 15th, and I am now saying to you, Happy New Year. You know, things happen in life, and you just can't stress it, so I want to wish you all a happy 2018, and I really pray that after the show you will have some set goals to work towards attaining or achieving by the end of 2018. So this year we will talk about, during the show we're going to talk about New Year resolutions, against setting a goal, and how those two things operate in different areas of your brain. So Happy New Year. Grab your pen, grab your notebook. I hope that you have some aspirations for this new year. I mean, my list is long, but I have to narrow it because we all have dreams and we all have aspirations. And let 2018 be a year of dreams and aspirations for you, so that you can, at the end of 2018, cross some things off of your list to ensure that you can say, well, yes, 2018 was a very good year, despite of the barriers, despite of the valleys, despite of the pitfalls. It was a good year. You know, I'm hearing a lot of people saying 2017 was the most difficult year for them because of their struggles, and it is important that when we highlight our struggles and the difficulties and the pitfalls and the valleys we've been in, out of the valley there is always a mountaintop experience. When we are having the difficulties, there's always a lesson in it. So I want you to begin to encourage you to begin to focus on the positive things, on the things that are good, and the things that brought you some satisfaction. Put a smile on your face, put a smile in someone else's face. Right? This is what we want to look forward to in 2018. And if you believe in the law of attraction, whatever you project, you will get. Also, be careful of the words that you speak. Start thinking and focusing on the things that you are saying, the things you're saying about yourself, the things that you're saying about the people around you, and the things that you allow to come into your world and your life. A lot of times we're having conversations with people, and the things that they're saying about people, we're agreeing. I was reading something and I saw this quote last week that whatever you're wishing for others, you're wishing for yourself. So be careful with the words that you speak. Let 2018 be the best year ever. And not just for material things or for success and tangible things, but the things that are intangible that you have control over, like the way you speak about yourself and others, your thoughts, the way you think, the way you act, your attitude, your behavior. You have control over that. You don't have control about what your friend or your relative or a stranger says, but what you have control over is how you allow it to enter your life. You can say, that's not the space I'm in. and I'm not encouraging that or entertaining that. So 2018 is going to be one of our best years ever, and that's my goal. During this year, I'll be seeking your support in some things, and I hope that you'll be willing enough to lend me that support. So I am really, really looking forward to 2018, and I want you to be on that journey with me. Now, in order to be on that journey, we have to understand the difference between a New Year resolution, which every time I think about it, while I was living in Guyana, I would hear people saying, oh, next year is going to be a different year because I am going to da 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 da. And then by the end of February, they forget that they made a resolution, or maybe by the end of January. And so we want to ensure that we're not making New Year resolutions. We're making plans or goals, and I'll get into details about that. We're going to set goals and set a time frame. And if when the time frame is about to elapse, you can say, you know what, this needs an extension, because you have control over that and you're monitoring it during the time. So you're gonna add 3 months or 6 months. It may take you into 2019, and that's okay. But at the end of that time frame, you've achieved that goal and you have worked towards achieving it. So that's the difference, between the resolution, where you just say something, and the goal, where you plan and you have a time frame, and you will ensure that nothing gets in the way of you attaining that goal. So that's where we're gonna go today. And again, Happy New Year to you and your family, and I hope that you already have ideas of what you want to achieve or accomplish in 2018. So all this show is going to do is help you to bring those goals to fruition by writing them and putting them on paper. I know a lot of you that, a lot of Guyanese have Christian background and heritage, and so we embrace Christianity, and we embrace the Christian religion, and it is encouraging the Christian religion to write the vision, right? So I want to encourage you to embrace that and write your goal. Let your goal become your vision, and you're going to write that today after I define it and differentiate between the New Year resolution and the goal, which we can say also is a vision, because with a vision, it's planning. A New Year resolution is just something you decide in your head, a formal decision that you make, and you might not have a plan to accompany it, so to ensure that it's accomplished. While a goal is something that you create a plan, you have it, you time stamp it, and you work towards it. So after this show, I want us to do away with the New Year resolutions, those firm decisions that we make, and create goals and see those goals accomplished and enjoy the sense of an accomplishment that comes with the goals. And of course, it has to be written. And when we come back, I will read you the definition of a resolution and a definition of a goal. Let's go to the greet.
Yes, here it is. Happy New Year to everyone in Guyana, especially all my family in Victoria, in Georgetown. You know it. Happy New Year to everybody. I can't call everybody name because I will not stop. So, in spite of that, Happy New Year to everybody in Guyana, from me to you in Guyana, coming from Orange, from New York.
It's your boy Sharmin, man. Happy New Year, people. From New York to Guyana, sending New Year blessing to you guys, alright? And many more, okay guys? Thanks for watching the program. Keep watching the program. Back to Sharmin.
Those were the greetings. Of course, I'm your host, Sharmin Prince, on the Sharmin Prince Show. Now, the definition according to dictionary.com, Webster, in the past it was Webster and Collins, but when you type in something on the internet, dictionary.com comes up. And I like the definition. It says, a resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something, or the action of solving a problem, a dispute, or contentious matter. So, a resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something. So, your New Year resolution might be, I'm not going to gossip, right? I'm not going to gossip about people. So that's what you're not going to do. But what are you going to do? How are you not going to do that? Right? But I like the part of the definition that says the action of solving a problem. Now, when you made your New Year resolution, what was the problem attached to that resolution? Because you're making a firm decision to do something opposite to what you're doing. So you've identified a problem, and the resolution is the decision to solve the problem. Right? Have you explored what that problem is? If you've identified the problem, so in order for you, with the New Year resolution, there you are trying to solve a problem by creating a resolution. What is the problem that is attached to the resolution? Identify it. And if you've identified it, have you explored it? And during the exploration of that problem, you might be able to identify the root. And then you'll be like, oh, I just thought this was the problem, but this is the surface of the problem that I've identified. It's much deeper than that, and it has a root. So what do I want to address in 2018? Would I address the problem that presented itself, or I am going to address the root that I have discovered after trying to explore the problem? And one of the key questions that you have to ask is, can it be resolved with a resolution, which is just a firm decision? Can this problem that I've identified be resolved with me just making a firm decision that this is what I'm going to do? I'm going to fix this problem and I'm going to make changes in my life. Just with a decision. And while I'm preparing this show and I'm looking at my own experience with resolutions, I realized that a resolution can become a goal. That firm decision that you made can become a goal. And what is a goal? Of course, according to dictionary.com, A goal is the result or achievement towards which effort is directed. So with the firm decision, which is your New Year's resolution, you turn it into a goal by creating the result or the outcome of whatever action you're going to take and put some effort into it. It will no longer be a resolution because it's not just a firm decision. It's a firm decision that has become a goal and there is a plan in place. And while you're exploring the resolution and you turn it into a goal, do you know what you want to achieve? What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you're seeing or you're seeking to become the outcome of your resolution that has now become a goal? Without goals, there's a lack of focus and a lack of direction. And one of the important things that we want to achieve in 2018, or my vision for all of you and for all and myself, is to have a focus and a direction so that we can, during the year, we can check in and say, okay, my plans need a little tweaking. Or, as I said earlier, the deadline that I have set needs an extension. And because you're in control of your life and you're in control of your goals and the plans that you have, you can make that change. You don't have to be rigid. So without goals, there is a lack of focus and a lack of direction. Now, it's like driving a vehicle. When you enter a vehicle, you have a destination. You know where you're going. You know where you want to get to. You have that place that you want to go. Now, your goal is to get you somewhere from where you are right now. So, what is that resolution that you had in your head that you can turn into a goal to get you to the place that the next level? What is the next level for you? But remember those steps that I highlighted in the resolution. What are you exploring? What is it that you're trying to get? What is the problem that you're trying to get the opposite? And how can you turn that into a goal? And develop a plan and a focus so you have a direction. Where do you want this goal to take you? What do you want to achieve? What is the outcome? Start writing it. One of my goals for 2018 is to complete my dissertation because I've been procrastinating, and the ironic thing about that is that the dissertation is on procrastination, and here I am procrastinating. So my goal is to complete it, and I have a plan, and I've began to work that plan. And part of my plan, it was to identify the things that are taking me away from what I need to do. And I used to spend a lot of time on Facebook. So what I did is take Facebook off of both of my phones, so it's only on my iPad and my laptop, and so that I can focus. Like when I'm on the train getting home, I can read. When I get in the house, I can read because I haven't been reading. And I can work on my dissertation. What it is that is keeping you away from accomplishing your goal. What are your distractions? Now, to attain a goal, you have to set them. I just share with you what my goal is. And you have to embrace the process. Now, when I started, a part of the process was delete everything from your life and focus on that so that you can accomplish that. And I got distracted. So what is your goal? What is the outcome you expect to achieve? What is the time frame? Are you willing to embrace the process? And when we come back, I will continue on how to attain the goal. Let's go to a commercial break.
Next Gen Car Rentals. For reliable, clean, fuel-efficient and well-maintained cars, choose Next Gen Car Rentals. Telephone 231-8963 or like us on Facebook. Next Gen Car Rentals, taking you to the next level.
GBE TV. Yes, sir!
Welcome back to the Sharmin Prince Show on GBE TV, where we know that progress is a must. Before we went to the commercial break, I was going through the list on how to, in order to attain a goal, what you need to do. So you need to set them. You need to set the goal. You need to embrace the process, and you need to commit to the levels. And many times when we're working on a goal, we tend to become frustrated because, you know, we live in this instant age and we want everything immediate and it must come right now, it must be done right now. That's not life. The get rich quick syndrome is a quick fix, you know, or the get whatever quick don't work. You have to put in time, you have to put in effort, you have to be determined, you have to be resilient, because you're going to have opposition even with the very goals that you set. So I created a 3-step, and from the 3 steps there is another 3, 6, 9 steps, but it's called SEC. SEC. You set, you embrace, and you commit. In order to achieve or attain a goal, you have to set, you have to embrace, and you have to commit. What do you have to set? You have to set a plan. So I hope you're writing. You have to set a plan. You have to ensure that the plan is achievable and that it's time stamped. So with the S in SEC, SEC, you have PAT, plan, achieve, and time stamped. Then you have to, and that's the only part of the goal you have full control over, because you can plan, it's achievable if you remain, if you stay on course, and it's time stamped, and you have control over that. That if you say 6 months and at the end of 5.5 months you know you can't do it within 15 days, you have control to extend that. You don't have too much control over the other 2. The E in SEC is to embrace. Now what do you embrace? Everything that you attempt in life may have some setbacks or some struggles. You have to embrace that. It's a part of the process. You're gonna make errors. You're gonna err. You're gonna flaw this goal. You're gonna do something that is totally opposite, and that's totally okay, because you have to learn to forgive you and just move on. So when you make errors, you can't just feel defeated and say, oh my God, I don't think I can continue. Yes, you can, because you've come to the part where you made an error. So that's a plus. Now it's for you to cross that hurdle and triumph. So your embrace, your E, is set. You're going to experience struggles or setbacks. You're going to make errors. And you're going to have triumphs. And you just have to embrace that. Now the C is commit. What are you going to commit to? You're going to commit to the process of attaining that goal that you're setting for 2018. Or goals. You are going to commit to your emotions. Something that we don't pay attention to. How is this making me feel? How am I feeling right now? I can tell you that it's a task, because over the weekend I was really practicing my feelings. You know, somebody call you and you look at the phone, or you pick up your phone and you see a missed call, and you tap into, how does this make me feel? And why am I feeling like that? So you commit to those emotions, and you commit to the lessons that this whole process is going to teach you. Because they are lessons. So remember, you're controlling yourself. You can tweak your plan. You know that it's achievable if you are willing to stay the course, and you have placed a time on it. It's time stamp. There is a time frame, and if the time frame is not good enough, you can extend it, because you have control over that. But you don't have control over over the struggles, the errors, or the triumphs. Or you don't have control over PEL, which are the process, the emotions, and the lessons. But you have to accept. You have to accept it if you want to achieve the goals. And some of you may have some major goals. Some of you may have some simple goals. It's quite okay. Once you achieve it, and you are confident that I can plan something and achieve it, you can do that. And you will begin, you don't have to wait for a new year. You begin to create these goals and attain them, and boost your self-confidence and your whole sense of being, that you realize that there is nothing that you cannot achieve. If you set your mind to attain it, and you plan it, not be rigid, it could be attained. And you will be so proud of yourself. You will become so confident that you can actually sit and create a plan and attain it. And then the next time you create a goal, it is bigger than the last one. Confidence would be boosted. So remember, you can control your path, which is your plan, the plan that you set. You know that it's achievable, and you have a time frame for it. You have control over that. We struggle with goals because we do not examine it thoroughly, because it takes time. So create those goals, examine it thoroughly, and ensure that the plan is compatible with the goal, and you know you can achieve it, and give yourself a realistic time frame to achieve it. You can't want a miracle in 2018 and you don't have the preliminary steps, or you haven't done the preliminary things to achieve that miracle. Many of us want to become rich and wealthy, but how are we going to do it? We have to set the foundation, and the foundation takes time, planning, examining why, your whys, examining your hows, examining the what, and examining the whens, right? How it's going to be done, what needs to be done, when do you want it to be done, and why you want it done. So taking time to spend with you and create those paths and embrace your set and Pell, and at the end of 2018 you send me, or when you achieve your first goal using this, send me an email at the process. And when we come back, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back we'll continue.
BETV. Yes, sir!
Next Gen Car Rentals. For reliable, clean, fuel-efficient and well-maintained cars, choose Next Gen Car Rentals. Telephone 231-8963 or like us on Facebook. Next Gen Car Rentals, taking you to the next level.
Welcome back to the Sharmin Prince Show, and we're talking about New Year's resolution and setting goals. And I actually went through a list of things that we can do to set goals, and I promise you that I wanted to differentiate between a New Year resolution and a goal. Now, I'm about to touch kind of sacred cow here, but I have to address it. I'm sure that you all saw the video of the woman that went to church All Year's Night, as we say, and they had testimony service, and she went up to share her testimony, right? Now, I am assuming here that her New Year resolution while sitting in the church is that, okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to testify about my life. She really felt moved at that moment to share her story and her truth. Now, her story and her truth includes the verbiage or language that surrounds her story and her truth. And while sitting in church, now remember I said I'm assuming, right? I actually put myself in her place. Her resolution is that I am going to share my truth. And I believe this is the right place for me to share my truth. Because if I break my hand, I am going to go to the hospital so that a doctor that is certified can fix my hand. I am here in church, which is supposed to be this spiritual hospital, to heal me of my broken heart and to set me free. And I am going to testify. So I'm sharing my truth. Remember, it's a resolution. She didn't create a goal. Because if she had created a goal, she would have explored her plans, right? But she didn't. She made a resolution right there, that she made a firm decision that I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna share my testimony, and it would be accepted because I am in the right place. So she went up and she started sharing her truth. But you know what? Her truth was too big to fit in the minds of the carnal minds of the people present in the church. Her truth was too real. Because we live in this world where we created all these masks and we wear all these masks and we believe that our masks are our truths. So her truth was too big and to fit in the carnal minds of the people in the church at that moment. They weren't ready or they weren't equipped as the doctor and the nurses in the ER, in the physical hospital, to deal with this wounded woman that came into the church and made a resolution that I am going to share my testimony because I want it out of my system. When you make a resolution to do something, you have to consider your audience. And sometimes when something is burning in our soul, we have to get it out, we don't think about our audience. And I'm sure that sister really think that the audience, that where she was at that time was the right place and the right time for her to share her truth. If you're not careful with the audience that you choose to share your truth, you can become wounded, bitter, despondent, discouraged, and wretched. Because you didn't consider that these negative emotions can surface from my truth, because my audience have not even embraced their truth, so they can't accept mine. Here is this woman standing before a congregation of believers, and she was the perfect example. For those of you that are my Bible believers, she was the perfect example of Romans 7:24, which according to the King James Version, "O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of death?" The woman stood there, and in her testimony, she is sharing her life story. But the church did not accept her testimony because it didn't include the sanctimonious verbiage or language, or the language of the religious system. Because the pastor or whomever the elder who took the mic failed to understand that the world she's coming from, her language is different than the sanctimonious verbiage that is used or prevalent in the church. And it shows that we are so far removed from what the same Bible that you're promoting teaches us to be loving, to be accommodating. Why couldn't he, when he took the mic, did like Jesus did and said, "He that is without sin cast the first stone"? The congregation would have been more acceptable, but he took the mic from her. When she used the language that she is used to share her truth and her testimony, he didn't even take it and say, "Sister, we heard your story and your testimony is compelling, but sister or mother X is gonna take you to the back and speak to you. When he took the mic, when you look at the woman's reaction, she was shocked that here I am in this place that is supposed to provide healing and deliverance and freedom and love to me, has just rejected me the same way that I was rejected in the street, or the same way that caused me to get into the life that I just shared that I was living. One can only assume that it taught her, that experience taught her to set a goal, and it's not a goal that we would want her to set. Because you know what that goal is going to be? I am never going to set foot back into a church. And how many people like her are walking around wounded because when we shared our truth, or where we expected to receive acceptance, we didn't. So now our goal is never to set the foot back into a church. When we come back, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue.
Next Gen Car Rentals. For reliable, clean, fuel-efficient and well-maintained cars, choose Next Gen Car Rentals. Telephone 231-8963 or like us on Facebook. Next Gen Car Rentals, taking you to the next level.
GBE TV. Yes, sir!
Welcome back to the Sharmin Prince Show on GBE TV, where we know that progress is a must. I just want to encourage you, if you're a pastor, minister, a sister, brother, a deacon, an elder, an apostle, a prophet, an evangelist, a pastor, or a teacher, fivefold ministry. Be open to people who are not speaking your language. If the church is a place to heal, a place to bring deliverance, and a prostitute walks into the church, don't expect her to have sanctimonious verbiage or the language that fits your religious system. You are wounding soldiers. The laborers are coming, but you are miscarrying them because of your religious stance and the system that you have set up. Remember, when you make a decision can be something that you just make up in your brain. Okay, I am going to do this. But you didn't create a plan and a goal and how you're going to do it. Now, when you make the decision, it's one part of your brain. When you start planning and you create a goal, it's another part of your brain. Making informed decisions and developing a plan is done in a different part of the brain. So just remember that. Whatever state that you're in right now, remember that a goal or goals are what you want to set to ensure that it's accomplished and attained. And sometimes our goals take us out of our comfort zone. And if we remain in our comfort zone at times can become a hindrance to ourselves and to others. And we want to ensure that that's not happening. Your testimony or your story can be too big for certain minds. And that whole scenario taught me that I remember attending a training, and we were taught that I can tell you my story without telling you my story. I can just say, maybe say a phrase and say, I understand what you're dealing with. And you know that I know what you're, or I have experience with what you are dealing with without hearing my own story. So sometimes, you know, we have to use some wisdom. Now, a resolution can lead us to create goals to advance us, or it could cause us to create speed bumps. The goals, you know, we're shooting towards the outcome, and then we might be going too fast, and we need to slow down to go fast. And while we're slowing down, every point that we slow down, it creates a speed bump, so that we can, if we have to travel that road again, we know where the speed bumps are, and we know where to slow down in order for us to go fast. Now remember that when you set a goal, you have some acronyms. I hope you have them written, but I'll go through them once again. It's SEC. You set the goal, you embrace the struggles and the errors, and then you commit. Now when you set the goal, with set comes SAT, where you comes PAT, where you plan, you achieve, and you create a time frame. When you embrace, you set, because you have to embrace the struggle, the errors, and the triumphs that are attached to your plan. And then you commit. You commit to the process, the emotions, and the lessons. Because those lessons that you learn during the process can take you far. And you know what it also says when you're setting a goal? You are present. Because you have to be present. You have to be present to embrace the struggles. You have to be present to identify when you make a mistake and you relapse. Relapsing is good. Relapsing is a part of the process. Relapsing is a part of achieving the goal or achieving whatever the outcome. So when you regress or you relapse, it's a part of the process. And let those lessons become tools that you can use for yourself and for others. Don't keep this to yourself. Share it with others. You know, like someone that may not be watching the show said, what are your plans for 2018? And they might say, oh, I made a my New Year resolution is XYZ. And you can say to that person, so what's the plan that is attached to your resolution? And they may look at you and then you can share what you've learned. A resolution is a firm decision. A goal includes a plan and an outcome, how you're going to achieve it. A goal is like an aim. I'm aiming for something, as opposed to that firm decision. I am aiming for this. So if I'm aiming for this, I must have a plan. And remember, the Bible says, write the vision. Right? And the people without, so your goal can be your vision. Are people without a vision perish? You don't want to perish. So create that vision. Create that goal so that it can become your vision for 2018. And at the end of 2018, you can say, I accomplished that. I was able to achieve that. I attained that. Just by creating a plan and working that plan and embracing all the stuff that came with it. And I know my ability. I know how resilient I can be when struggles get in the way of my plans. I know how resilient I can be, or how determined I can be when the errors that I didn't predict shows themselves up in my path, and I have to embrace it and look at it and say, hey, okay, I am going to overcome that too, and the lesson in it is XYZ. So I know that now my confidence has been boosted a little, because I know that I can overcome mistakes and errors and whatever struggles that comes with my plans. And I understand that whatever I plan and whatever is my goal, whatever are my goals, will have some, I don't want to say hindrances, are going to have some pitfalls, but I'll be ready to embrace and endure those pitfalls, because at the end of it there is a lesson for me that is going to take me closer to attaining my goal and attaining whatever it is that I set out to achieve for 2018. And I'm going to share this because I want people to know that this is what I'm working on. Thank you, and let's take a break.
GBE TV. Yes, sir!
Next Gen Car Rentals. For reliable, clean, fuel-efficient and well-maintained cars, choose Next Gen Car Rentals. Telephone 231-8963 or like us on Facebook. Next Gen Car Rentals, taking you to the next level. Next Gen Car Rentals. For reliable, clean, fuel-efficient and well-maintained cars, choose Next Gen Car Rentals. Telephone 231-8963 or like us on Facebook. Next Gen Car Rentals, taking you to the next level.
GBE TV. Yes, sir!
Welcome back to the Sharmin Prince Show on GBE TV, where we know that progress is a must. I took you on a ride tonight during the show. We spoke about the resolution, which is a firm decision that we made, and this show derived that this is the beginning of a new year, and it's customary for us to make New Year's resolutions, and I highlighted the other part of the definition of resolution, which is the action of solving a problem or a dispute. So the action of solving that problem as a resolution is you have to identify what that problem is. What is the problem attached to your resolution? Have you explored the problem? What are the roots of your resolution or resolutions? And can it be resolved with a resolution, or do you need to set a goal? Now, what is a goal? A goal is the result or achievement towards which effort is directed. And it's like you're aiming for something. A goal is something that you're aiming for. And remember, without goals, you have no focus or direction, right? So, and I give you a few acronyms that I want to repeat. I also shared about the video that has gone viral and with the woman in the church. Remember, when you have a goal, you set, and your set includes path. You plan, then you work to achieve the goal within a given time frame. So PAT is you plan, you work to achieve it, and you're working to achieve it within a different time frame, within a specific time frame. And you have control over that if the time frame that you set is not enough, you can extend it. Then you embrace. You embrace your struggles, the mistakes or the errors that you're going to make, and the triumphs. Highlight your triumphs, because we don't do that often. And then you commit. Commit to the process that you set. Commit to the emotions that the goal elicits while you're going through the process. The emotions that rises. Commit to that. Feel them. And then at the end of that, what are the lessons that you've learned during this process? Embrace those lessons. Commit to them and share them. Don't keep them for yourself. And you'll see what a difference it would make in your life and those around you. And at the end of, it might not even be at the end of 2018, it might be in August. You've attained the goal. Please ensure that you send me an email at gbetvinfo@gmail.com. Send us your feedback on the show and what it is doing for you. I mean, I've been getting feedback, ensure that you do that. But set your goals and motivate yourself to achieve those goals, attain those goals, and embrace the process. Because a lot of times we don't allow or give ourselves permission to feel and to embrace the processes in our lives that surrounds our decision making and our entire lives. So I want to encourage you to do that and to ensure that you are following that. Before we end, I want to share a quote with you by Khalil Gibran, and the quote goes this way: those who give you a serpent when you ask for a fish may have nothing but a serpent to give. And that's by Khalil Gibran. Think about it. Those who give you a serpent when you ask for a fish may have nothing other than a serpent to give you. Don't be judgmental. Thank you for joining the Sharmin Prince Show. Thank you for your continued support. And I'll see you next week. I'm your host, Sharmin Prince. Good night. Until next week.